Sean and Lori Malloy moved to Kentucky to start an alpaca farm. Their flock has grown, and now they are not only raising alpacas, but are milling fiber from folks from all over.
We got into alpacas back in 2003. We went to an open farm in Auburn, Maine, and I never even knew what alpacas were. But went to this farm, and I was immediately smitten by these alpacas. I fell in love. I must have alpacas. I mean, it was an awesome thing, and they were just beautiful, and Sean kept thinking I was nuts. He says, come up with a 5-year business plan. So I did, and then he read it, and he's like, oh, maybe we can do this. So that's what started us in the alpaca business. Alpacas came from South America, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. They were first imported in the United States from Chile, then it moved to Bolivia and then Peru. They closed the importation back in the late 1990s. So all these animals were born here in the States. These guys have been domesticated for almost 6,000 years. It's about the same as llamas, and alpacas have always been used for fiber, for making clothing, and for meat. Actually, the Incans, the only people that were allowed to wear alpaca were royalty. If people other than the royalty were found wearing alpaca, they would be killed. Fortunately, that's not the same here.
We were looking for a move and moving outside the state of Maine, and we started researching throughout the country, and Kentucky caught our eye because of Kentucky being #1 for family farms, #4 for manufacturing, and the location. And within that location we have almost 2/3 of the populace within a day's drive. It just made perfect sense for us.
First thing we do with incoming fiber is that we go through and sort it and grade it for the customer. And then we wash each run, and it will hold about 10 pounds of fiber. This can dry within a couple hours and take a couple days. But we're always coming over and opening it up, kind of flashing it about a little bit, just to help it dry more. But once it's dried, it's ready to go to the next phase, the picker room.
This is called the picker. And we're really teasing the hair and opening it up, because in the washing process and drying process, it somewhat felts by itself. And what this machine does is opens it up, as well as drops out more of the vegetation and dirt. We take the fiber from the separator. This machine is called the carder. And the carder is set up with lots of drums with lots of needles on them, and what it does is it's starting to align the fibers and getting them aligned up, and so that we can start spinning the actual fiber.
This is an 8-head spinning frame. So what it's doing, it's drafting out the yarn, or the roving. It's narrowing it down so it's only a few fibers coming through, and then it's applying twist.
Our long-term goal is to make this an ag tourism destination. We're working right now to develop a farm experience and teach people sustainable farming based on the livestock with fiber animals. And what we're planning on doing, expanding our business to the ag tourism, where we can have busloads of people, kids to adults, come out and learn what we're doing here in the mill and on the farm, and make it a pleasurable experience where they actually can see something, do something, and maybe buy something that's made on the farm or a local craftsperson throughout Kentucky.
To me, being a Kentucky farmer is the beauty of it is that you have such a wonderful support group here in Kentucky. If you look around, we have cattle surrounding us on 3 sides. We have soybean in one field, we have corn on the other. Everybody is into the agricultural business here. I get a lot of support from our neighbors. They think we're crazy, but you know, they're all very interested to see what we're doing. Our goal is to produce end products that start out with animals here in Kentucky. We shear them, so they're sheared here in Kentucky. We process it here in Kentucky, and then we get area craftsmen and artisans to knit, weave, spin, whatever they do to make our end product. So we keep it all in Kentucky, so we're definitely Kentucky proud.